Welcome back for another episode of the podcast here at DET 842. We got Cadet Wells, Cadet Skillman, Cadet Ramirez with us today. So if you could just give us a brief introduction of who you are, where you're from, and what your major is, and then what your position is in ROTC. We'll start with you, Cadet Wells.
Yep, so I'm Cadet Wells, Operations Group Commander. My major is Global Affairs. I did graduate last December. And I'm from a small town in Mississippi called Macomb. That's where my family's from, but I am a military child, so I've been around the whole world. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm Cadet Skillman. I'm the Inspector General here. My major in college was English, and then I'm now in law school, so I guess you could say my major is law. And then I am from a really small town north of San Antonio called Blanco.
Cool.
And I'm Cadet Ramirez. I'm the Maintenance Group Commander, and I'm from a small town here in Texas called Coppers Cove, and my major is Criminal Justice.
Awesome. That's quite the wide array of majors we got. That's really good. Could you go more into specifics about some of the responsibilities of your position? Because I know a lot of the people at the detachment might not know exactly what goes on underneath the hood for your specific roles.
Okay, so like I said, I am Operations Group Commander, and basically I'm in charge of almost all the cadets, well, all of the GMC cadets for sure. And so I'm in charge of the planning. This semester we had FTP, so I had to make sure we had an FTP plan ready to go. Same with IMT. And as well, I also track the POC attendance, and I also track to make sure all of the GMC are also attending PT and Lead Lab as well.
That's pretty cool. There's a lot to do, huh?
Yeah, very busy, very busy.
Awesome.
So for the IG chain, we are in charge of technically Honor Guard, although they're kind of their own entity, but mainly it's going to be your standards and eval and education. So doing the ORIs, FDEs, any other inspections as far as making sure people are standardized, and then education, so aim high, academic probation, any tutoring services, things like that. So kind of, I don't say everything else as far as like there's operations, then there's maintenance and MSG, so it's more like the education and the standards portion of the detachment.
So a lot more than just listening to complaints.
Yeah, a lot more than just listening to complaints. While that might be like my job, and even then it's more like questions, comments, concerns. I hope that it's not always complaints.
Right.
Sometimes it's like, what are y'all wanting to see more? Are there any concerns that you have, or recommendations even that they kind of want to see implemented into the detachment? But other than that, then it's the chain itself is going to be your education and your standards and all that fun stuff.
Wow.
All right, so with the Maintenance Group Commander position, I'm in charge of the Training and Development Squadron, or DevTrain. Choo choo. We're in charge of making sure, I'm in charge of making sure that Lead Lab and PT are both created for the week, for each training week, and making sure they both run smoothly. So all the PTs, the rigorous workouts, the combatives, Spec Ops PT is going to be happening soon. That's what my chain is overseeing, and then as well as Lead Lab. So IG feedbacks, we get with Cadet Skillman and we make sure those happen, and then we're going to have a base defense Lead Lab as well. So be on the lookout for that.
Excited for that.
That's what we do.
So next question here is, what is one school-related goal and one ROTC-related goal that you have for the semester? We'll start over here this time.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so one school goal is to get through my internship.
How's that going so far?
I mean, it's all right. I'm just at a desk in a cubicle. It's
Not
not too bad.
Yeah.
But since I can't really do much with the U.S. Marshals, I stuck doing paperwork. So
Oh, no.
I mean, it's not too bad, but it's all right. And then an ROTC goal, hopefully, is to get everyone, GMC, POC, all included, to pass their PFA. So that's what I want. Everybody.
Close?
It's a work in progress.
Okay.
But I want to at least have everybody score above an 85.
That's good. That's a good goal.
Yeah. So it's
I
my
don't think you have to worry about me.
yeah, chilling.
School-related goal, passing the bar exam this summer.
Oh, that would be
That's
huge. Yeah,
that's all I
absolutely.
want.
Yeah.
And then ROTC-related goal is just try to constantly make the detachment a better place that the cadets feel comfortable with, that they want to be around. Just making it a place that they actually want to participate in.
Sweet. Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, my school goal was to graduate, and that's what I did. So on that side, I really don't have any school goals at the moment, but hopefully when I start my career, I will start, getting a master's degree. So that's in the future. When it comes to ROTC, one of my biggest goals is really to try to make more professionals, right?
Yeah.
As ops, we do train the GMC cadets, but we also have POC cadets, and I am a firm believer in professionalism starts from the top and it comes down.
Absolutely.
So that was probably one of my biggest goals, just trying to up the professionalism throughout the whole DET. And yeah.
How do you think you're doing so far?
I think it's going well. I think we have made a lot of improvements from last semester. There's still some things that we can work on. Not everybody's perfect, but I do feel like it's a work in progress. And just by the way, the DET is ran now. Just the environment, I do see a difference from last semester.
That's awesome. That's good. So what's one of the most difficult parts of your IG position, or not IG position, your ROTC? That's you. What's one of the most difficult parts of your ROTC position?
Okay. I'll go ahead and start on that. So really, it's just the fact that it's hard to be in the loop because I'm in charge of so many different cadets. For example, just say something happens to a cadet's car in the morning. Like, I need to know about what's happening with that cadet.
Yeah.
Also, if something changes with training, because, for example, FTP, training is going to change throughout the semester because you have, the FTM or FTPG.
That's right, that changed.
Yeah, it's going to change, so you need to be able to be flexible and to change training plans. And really, like I said, it's just the fact that you're kind of guiding and in charge of so many people. So if a couple things happen with different cadets and different squadrons, it can kind of get mixed up. So you kind of got to be organized, and yeah, that's probably
It's a lot of cogs in the machine, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot of things, and like cogs in the machine. If one little thing messes up the whole thing. So for example, like just say a training plan changes, and I don't tell the big wing commander, they're like, "Oh, where they at? What are we doing?" I'm like, "Oh goodness!" Like, so you have to make sure to be on top of that type of stuff,
Gotcha.
I guess hardest part for IG is feeling like you can't accommodate for everybody, or like feeling like you can't solve everyone's problems, which is just like I guess that's more like a me dilemma, because you want to make it better for everybody, you want to resolve the problems that you can, but what some people complain about, other people love, and vice versa. And so it's just like trying to fix what you can fix and control what we can control, but otherwise just feeling like you can't be everywhere or solve all the problems. Especially as IG, like that's all you want to make it a detachment that people want to be in, feel comfortable in. So feeling like you can only accomplish so much in that semester to like make it better for the next.
So you only have 15 weeks, 30 training days to work with?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
All right, so I think the hardest part of my position is probably two things, like making sure that everyone's getting a good lead lab and PT workout and lead lab training for the week, making sure that everyone's staying engaged, as well as making sure that we're hitting all the objectives we have to hit. Also, another thing with that is also plans are constantly changing.
Yeah, we just heard that.
Working with ops, IG, basically everybody. We got to make sure we're letting everybody know ahead of time. Things can change in a minute, so it's about flexibility. And I'm thankful for the team that I have, because they're able to pick things up if we have to switch, make the change, and we're all set for Thursday. So it's just a whole bunch of making sure we're set, but also being ready for change.
Right, having a plan, a backup plan, and a backup plan to the backup plan, right?
Yeah.
All right, so on a lighter note, what's the most rewarding part of your ROTC position, do you think?
You want me to start on that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I'll probably say the most rewarding will probably be the fact that I'm able to work and connect with so many different cadets. I've said a lot, I talked about GMC and POC a lot, but at the end of the day, we're all here, we're all cadets. And I do feel like being in ops, and I've been blessed to be in ops 3 times. A lot of people don't think that's a blessing, but I do, because I'm actually going to be a part of their development. Even if they hate me, if they love me, I'm still part of that development.
Right.
So I really do cherish the connection I'm able to make with the cadets in general. POC, flight commanders, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm a big people person, and so that's probably the most rewarding for me. Just, what I'm saying, doing what we're doing right now, being able to talk.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I totally get it.
That's what I like.
That's awesome.
No, mine would be the same. It's just the cadets, like feeling like you have left some impact on the GMC, the POC, and they're your peers and your coworkers, your colleagues, however you want to look at it. But knowing that you're making some sort of an impact or some lasting change, it's just like a really cool feeling to know that you're doing something that benefits not only yourself but just like an entire wing of people, and hopefully it works out. But yeah, just like knowing that you're impacting other people.
That's awesome.
Mine's mostly just going to be being able to grow in my leadership capabilities, especially with moving from different parts of in my POC career, moving from different chains. So like I started in IG, and then I went to ops, and now I'm in the maintenance chain. So I think it's pretty cool being able to see different aspects of how the entire detachment works. And then like Cadet Wells and Cadet Skillman said, is being able to see how my plans and how things I'm doing are impacting the GMC. Whether like it's really good or like things need to change a little bit, so I can help them grow and develop into leaders that hopefully will lead Air Force.
Right, because at the end of the day, that's why we're all here, is to make an impact on other people's lives. So that's good, smart, well said. So how do y'all feel? Do you think that you are ready for active duty, Cadet Ramirez?
I'd say it's a little of both, yes and no. Like, I'm ready to get into my career in the Air Force, intel officer, just like get into that. But then no, because like active duty is going to come with its own sets of challenges that I've never experienced here in my time in ROTC.
Right.
Which is like going to be, because my mistakes here, I can fix them here, and they won't have like as bad as repercussions besides like counselings or like stuff like that. But here, in the active duty, it could mean life or death, or a whole mission or a whole asset gets destroyed or something like that, to that bigger stakes. So yes or no. Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
You got it. Cadet Skillman.
So for mine, I am very ready to be done with school. I have been in school since I don't even know when. So I'm very ready to be done with that. But as far as entering active duty, I'm excited to like get going and to start my career and start my future basically. But I'm very nervous in the sense that I will be having a lot of, I guess, like responsibility, or I'll be in charge of a lot. So it's like people are trusting me with their lives, their families, their assets, things like that. So wanting to make sure that I do right by them and that I'm not messing something up for them for essentially the rest of their lives, because they put a lot of trust into attorneys. And so I just want to make sure that I'm doing right by my clients, by the military, by the mission. So yeah, the same as him. It's just a yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll definitely say I feel like I'm ready.
Okay.
I feel like ROTC has done a great job preparing me for becoming an officer in the Space Force. I will say there are things I feel like I do need to improve on. I'm not saying I'm ready in the sense of I'm the best and I'm just, no flaws or anything like that, but I am ready to get the work started.
Okay, let's go. I like it. That's some good confidence.
Yep.
All right. So do y'all know what your AFSCs are at this point?
So yes, I will be a 14N intel officer for the Space Force.
Okay.
But I actually got picked up to become a Go Bar recruiter. So I will
Oh,
be
heck
going,
yeah. Hey, congratulations. Come on, let's go.
I will be going to Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma. So packing up my cowboy boots and my cowboy hat, and we're going to be off to it.
Okay. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. So I will be a JAG.
Surprise.
Yeah, woo. So I'll be doing that. I will graduate in May, take the bar in July, and whenever I get my scores back, in like October basically, is when I will find out my basing assignment and anything like that. So have that, and then I have to go back to Maxwell Air Force Base for my version of tech school, essentially, JSOC. So it's basically how to military lawyer, and it's like 9 weeks long.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Excited?
I mean, I guess it's Alabama, but it's really hot. So yeah, it's very much like depends on when I'm gonna be there. Because I mean, the JAG school, from what I saw when I was there for field training, actually looked really nice. That was probably one of the nicest buildings on Maxwell.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for that.
For me, like Cadet Wells, I'll be a 14N, an intel officer.
Cool.
But in the Air Force. So
Hey.
so immediately after commissioning, whenever I get my EAD, is when I'll head over to Goodfellow Air Force Base in San Angelo, and I'll start my tech school for the next 6 months to when I get there till I finish, and then from there, you know, wherever the Air Force takes me. Hopefully
Nice.
Japan.
Do you know how long it's gonna take to EAD or enter active duty?
Yeah, I've heard it could be anywhere between right after commissioning or latest in December.
Dang, what are you gonna do if it's the December for you?
Work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so depressed. He's like, I guess.
All right, so we kind of touched on it when I asked you if you were ready for active duty, but now I kind of want to know what your biggest fear for going into active duty is,
Okay.
or if you even have any at all.
Yeah, I want to say I have like something like I fear, like
Yeah.
like a snake. Like I fear snakes. I don't
Okay.
fear active duty. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
I do feel like there are things that kind of might worry me a little bit. Like I said, and like Cadet Skillman said, like you are going to be making decisions that can impact somebody's life. As an officer, you're going in at a higher rank, so you're automatically in charge of enlisted personnel.
Yes.
So that is something that I do think about a lot because I am a big people person, and I don't want to make a mistake that can hinder somebody else's life, right?
That's fair.
But that would be the thing that I feel like I would worry about the most. But as far as fearing anything, I only fear God.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Yes,
it.
sir.
Heck yeah, Cadet Wells.
So I have fears.
Okay, let's hear
Well,
one.
my fears is more just like, especially for going into like the attorney realm, is I will have a lot of people's lives, not like life or death in my hand, but more just like their assets, their families, things that people really like hold near and dear to them.
Right.
So like I just want to do right by my clients and by the Air Force and by the mission. So the fear as far as like I don't want to mess up something legally and like
real.
impact something for the rest of their lives. I mean, like they put a lot of trust into attorneys, and so I want to do right by my clients in that sense. So my fear is something like I don't like it's just a lot of power of someone's life that
Yeah.
I want to respect and give my due diligence. So
I mean,
yeah.
that's a fair
Yeah.
assumption of it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any fears right now, but like probably once after tech school and like I get into my actual job
Once it gets
where
real.
I'm taking like
Yeah.
secret squirrel type of like stuff where like I gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
Like nobody else knows except me and a certain handful of other people.
So
That's when
talk
things
to
will be like, yeah. But
Yeah.
as of right now, I'm just worried about graduating, finishing stuff, and getting
Okay.
to there.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. So the last thing we have is what is either a small or a large piece of advice that you want to leave with the detachment to inspire others to maybe follow in your footsteps or at least to just be successful in the program.
Okay. You can start down there with that one.
Okay.
Okay. So the biggest piece of advice that I have for GMC cadets or my 300 cadets, I'd say is to take every opportunity that is given to you. Like join a club, go join, for example, like Arnold Air or like Victory or Booster Club. Like get your foot in the door, meet different people, network with others, and also like for wing commander applications, submit it. Like whether you get it or not, it's better for you to get that experience of having an interview with cadre, so that way whenever you have bigger opportunities up to you in active duty, you're able to like take the lessons you learn, the feedback you get from after your wing commander application, and apply it. So like just take every opportunity and run with it.
Really good advice. Cadet Skillman?
Similar vein is the worst thing someone can tell you is no. So you don't know unless you apply for it, you try, things like that. So it's like you only live once. But it's like make the most of what you can with the people you're impacting, with the opportunities you try to chase. Like if you want something, go for it. Because the worst thing that can happen is they say no.
That's true.
With me, I will say, you've heard me here say a lot like, oh, like I don't really fear that much, or like I'm a big dog, but really, I think the biggest piece of advice I can give is don't be afraid of like failure, right? Definitely me coming in. The reason why I'm saying like, oh, I don't really have that much fear is because I'm used to attacking the chance of me like failing at something. It's okay if you don't know what you're doing. It's okay like if you feel like you're not good enough at the moment, but don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because a lot of times people don't understand the opportunity that they have as a cadet. Like as just being a regular cadet, you have the opportunity to grow as a leader that a lot of other students won't have. But you need to take advantage of that by putting yourself out there, you know. Don't be afraid of, I don't know, for example, briefing the whole DET during a FTP lead lab, right? Or your FTP semester, raise your hand to be the first flight commander. Those things are the things that build character, and that's what the Air Force is wanting. So that'll be the thing that I'll put out there, you know.
All very true. Great advice. So I hope it reached some ears today. Again, thank you all for participating in today's interview, little chat. It was fun. I appreciate you all being here. Hopefully we get to do it again sometime soon. With that, we're going to end it there, and thanks for watching. You can cut it off.